We figured we got to stack the deck a little bit, right?
Well, you guys are here. We're going to get to Triggered, the book, in a moment, and your relationship. But you did something that triggered a lot of people yesterday, including myself, by releasing the name of the whistleblower. The whistleblower whose complaint has now led to impeachment hearings. The whole point of releasing a name is to intimidate someone, to threaten someone, and to scare other people from coming out. That's something that dictators do. I've lived in China. I've seen that firsthand. That's not what America does. That's not who we do. We stand by our people. Why did you want to release the name?
Listen, Abby, I think... I think the reality of the answer is the whistleblower's name was on a little website called The Drudge Report a couple days ago. It was in Real Clear Politics. I literally quote tweeted an article that had the guy's name in the title of the article. So that whole thing is nonsense. But I wish the outrage would be equal. I mean, there was no outrage when, my family got an exploding letter of, with white powder substance in it. They're protecting a guy, in the CIA, and there's great outrage. But when your family gets something, it's there. And that's a big part of the book, which is, it's not a level playing field in terms of outrage. We do live in an outrage culture.
He has to be anonymous. Your family did not. There's a difference.
But it was literally millions of people, and for days he's been out there in the media.
But does that make it right?
So what's the difference between me tweeting about it?
It's different when the president's son does it, though, isn't it?
Why? I mean, I'm a private citizen putting this out there. If everyone in this room could have read this, I don't see any difference whatsoever. The reality is, it seems to me, and again, my point of view on this, it seems to me that everyone is outraged that his name is out there because now people are saying, okay, he's tied to Joe Biden while Joe Biden was working in the White House. He has ties to Brennan, who's been leading the cabal on Trump. It's not, let's be honest about what it is.
But just to be clear, that's not why I'm outraged. I'm outraged because I care about diplomacy in this country. I care about how we protect the people when they see a wrongdoing, that they go through the proper political channels and they are protected for doing that. So you can say that whatever outlet released it.
Let's not kid ourselves.
But the name has been out there for 5 days.
But that doesn't make it right.
But nevertheless,
But Abby, you guys, ABC is right now chasing down a whistleblower about all of the Epstein stuff because those stories were killed. So if we're going to have the conversation about the outrage about whistleblowers, you work with CBS stuff. You work with CBS to oust a whistleblower who came up with a story that's kind of shady.
Can we stick to?
No, but you work with them. That broke
Can we stick to what she asked in the question? Just because if we start getting off on
But my point is one of hypocrisy. And again, a big part of why I wrote the book is because there's so much hypocrisy out there. Now, I understand that the mainstream media is left-leaning. I don't think anyone's ever debated that or doubted that for a long time. But they've gotten rid of the pretense of objectivity at this point. There is no, they're like, what, we're just going to be the marketing wing of the other side.
Just let me interrupt. If you talk about hypocrisy, you seem fine with people leaking information if it makes you and your father look good, because WikiLeaks
this has been
and
going
Julian
on for the other side forever.
Is a cyber terrorist, right? And I think a Russian puppet. You are fine promoting his stuff, and your dad praising him on the campaign trail if it makes you look good. So how is this whistleblower who went through the right channels, how are you now releasing his name and putting his life in danger, but WikiLeaks was doing the right thing?
If I can, just first, thank you so much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So here's the thing. There's a lot of context to, and I hear what you're saying. It's a fair enough question because he may be a private citizen, but nevertheless, he is the son of the president of the United States.
And a campaign surrogate.
And he's somebody who works as a campaign surrogate, but not officially, with the campaign. But nevertheless, when you look at this facts and you look at the circumstance, you look at, in fact, even on this show, the first day after the election, it said, and now let's start with impeachment. This has been something that's been going, it's been a concerted effort by a lot of people who are disappointed by the results of the election to undo it and remove a duly elected president of the United States, number one. Number two, when you look, well, it was on this show on November 9th.
No, actually, it wasn't. We've had all kinds of. Wait, man, I listened. Now I'm asking for the same.
Sure.
We are an opinion show.
Correct.
That's what we do.
Correct.
What you seem to have done and feels very disingenuous because you can't say I'm a private citizen and yet you're in the middle of all of this. You were brought to the FBI folks. Everybody talked to you. You're part of this. So when you release a name like that, even if it was out for 10 days or 20 days. You have to know that people, if you were talking about the white powder that your family got, this guy's family's getting the same thing. And why is it okay for one and not both?
Well, we don't know
it.
that that's actually happening to him, first and
Well,
foremost.
we don't know that it happened to you.
But
we're taking your name. We're taking your...
It was reported.
It was a case.
I'm sorry. Stop yelling. Stop yelling.
Not to yell. I can
We
He's
can
loud.
hear
It's
you.
like a miracle ear for Christmas.
Kimberly, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
And we've known
Yeah.
each other. You were a former
Absolutely.
prosecutor. I mean, did you advise your boyfriend that it is a federal crime to out a whistleblower?
I didn't advise him that it was a federal crime, but I did come out of the bathroom and say I left you alone for 10 minutes. What happened when Mamacita's gone? Because by the
Well, it's not a federal crime.
reason.
It's only a federal crime for
However,
the IG to do it. That's
Yeah.
in the statute.
Well,
so that's you
well, no,
can't.
that's
but
not
that's the
true.
point. You can't
That's
run
a
with
lie.
it. It is not.
She's
true.
Let me show you the
That's
other
not
side.
true.
Let me show you the
Under
other side
under
of
U.S.
this.
Code
Okay,
section-
stop. Everybody stop. It's hard to hear.
Under
Really,
U.S.
So
Code
finish
section
that.
1505, it is a crime.
It's not accurate. Just ask Rand
But
Paul. He went
my
to
law
great
degree
detail
says it
on
is,
the
but
other.
nevertheless.
But he's not the individual that first
My question is,
Yeah.
you did speak to him about that.
I talked to him, no, not prior to. After I said, oh, what happened? He said, well, they're saying that I released this and I outed. But if you look at the facts, and the facts are that the name was out there, I'm not saying, okay, I understand what you're saying, that perhaps, okay, it wasn't the most prudent decision to retweet an article. But I'm going to tell you something. When we talk about transparency, the President of the United States released the transcript of exactly what happened in that phone call.
Yeah.
The whistleblower is giving his opinion or her opinion
Right.
of what transpired.
I'd like to talk about that,
You get what
actually.
I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd like
So
to talk about that.
That's out there to say. He's not trying to hide
ahead.
anything.
I'd-
And thank
go ahead,
God he
son.
transcribed it.
I'd like to
So
talk
now
about
we know
that.
the truth.
Actually, let me ask you, do you regret retweeting that?
I don't think I should have to forego my First Amendment right. I didn't want to create hysteria, but if I'm reading an article, be like, oh, the name's out there. I didn't even realize
you
that
knew
this
what you
thing's
were
some
doing.
sort of
So you
big
don't-
sort
you
of
don't
secret.
regret doing that?
I don't regret doing it. No, I don't
Okay.
think I should have to forego my First
right,
Amendment
but
rights. It's out there. I read it in an article. I've been reading it for a week. I saw it on the Drudge Report. Like, this is not some secret, but to then say, because it's Donald Trump Jr., because he's an outspoken
this is
guy,
not a MAGA
to then
rally,
create
okay?
why was there no outrage when Drudge Report, which is a major website,
Calm
probably
down.
the largest aggregator of media news in America, he puts it out there a few days ago, and no, crickets. No problem with that.
Because
Come on, guys,
probably
like,
not a lot of people knew that it was out there. But once you put it out,
on Drudge.
but here's
Billions of people see
yes,
Drudge
but
a day.
I'm saying to you, listen, man, I don't know how many people here read the Drudge Report. I don't know, but I'm saying a lot more people know your name than know the Drudge Report.
that's a
You're
fair point.
assuming.
He
I
has
know
a
it's a
high
fair
profile.
point.
I understand.
Let's move on.
I understand. Move on.
I want to talk about the memo of the call, because I don't believe it's a transcript. In the memo of the call that was released from the White House between your father and the Ukraine president, your father said, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. And we have the entire part of the memo here. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general would be great. This is the basis of the impeachment inquiry. Why is that a sham?
The whole
Which is
thing,
what you're calling
first of all, because nothing was withheld. The other guy on the other side actually said, I have no idea what you're talking about. No one knew any
What do
aid
you
was
mean
even
nothing
being
was
withheld. The other guy in the Ukraine, in terms of aid being withheld. So no one knew about these
But
things.
that's not true. That's a lie. Military aid was withheld.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one knew
Not
about
as-
it in the
no,
Ukraine.
not
So
as a quid pro
there
quo.
was no quid pro quo. You see all the other
wasn't.
aspects of
That's
this
a
coming
lie.
out.
It was withheld.
There's
Yeah.
been no prima facie case
so-
made whatsoever for impeachment. The transcript is there. The witnesses are coming
so-
forward.
so-
and there was no
so you have a
bipartisan
lot of
support
opinions
for
going
that
on.
hearing
But Kimberly,
going
the
forward.
military aid was
One at a
withheld.
time.
But not because of that reason.
And again, the other
nexus
side
and
didn't
the
even
time
know that it
frame,
was
the
withheld
timeline
at the
has been
Can I
clearly
ask you this?
demonstrated.
But that's a
not the
lie.
case.
There have been
Can I ask
several
you this then?
ambassadors that have testified
Then-
And there's others that have testified
that the
they had no
military
idea
aid
that
was
there was any
withheld.
quid pro
Let me
quo
ask you this.
We have to go
whatsoever.
to a break.
Did Gordon Sondland lie then when he changed his
Wait.
testimony yesterday?
Well, I don't know why he changed his testimony. It's sort of interesting. It almost, he says something.
He's afraid of
on the
perjury.
record.
He's afraid of going to
well,
jail.
Or he's afraid of being attacked, like so many of us have for so long, by a vicious left that's running a
Oh,
one-sided
please.
campaign.
Let's go to a
By
break.
Adam Schiff who's doing a one-sided thing. Republicans can't question.
Children. Stop yourselves. There'll be more with
Good time.
Them too.
Junior.
the two of them when we get back.